All right, Mike, can I see it through the forest? LA Knight defeats Seth Rollins at Saturday night's main event. And then he first challenger post-draft for Seth Rollins' newly won World Heavyweight Championship. Do I see it bright? Do I see it light? Do I see it straight ahead of me?
I think it is not going to go that way. I think Rollins is going to win.
All right, so he's just part of a part of the journey to the top with the Money in the Bank, because the true trope WWE's historically has been, Seth can go ahead and lose because he has the Money in the Bank, right? Not necessarily under Triple H, but that's how it would have been told back in the day to set up Seth Rollins in LA Knight soon after Seth winning the briefcase. I feel that LA Knight, again, coming off Monday Night Raw, being there live at the midst of Goldberg, Penta, all these baby faces that are over like Rover, LA Knight still gets the mega pop, still gets the big, it was a surprise pop, but still gets the big mega pop. It is over. He's coming off kind of a year where he's kind of, I don't want to say pushed to the background, but jobbing a lot, losing in the U.S. to Shinsuke, regaining it to lose it to Jacob, losing Backlash, losing kind of a little bit of everywhere, not winning Money in the Bank. So it's been a kind of a down years from a win-loss standpoint from LA Knight. I don't think it's a test, but I think it's tried true to how over he is that he still gets these mega reactions. So I feel that a win over Seth Rollins is kind of earned in a way. Why do you think Seth is winning? Just to keep him strong before the belt?
Yeah, I think he's kind of different. Like he's not somebody getting their first rodeo here with a Money in the Bank. Like even though Naomi isn't, she's somebody that I feel like can take her licks, and then when she wins the title, it's not a big deal. But Rollins is like the guy on Raw, despite the fact Gunther's a champion. Rollins is the one that's opening Raw, closing Raw every night. And I just feel like he's going to have a more substantial piece of SummerSlam than Knight will. Nothing with Knight right now really jumps off the table for me for SummerSlam. And I feel like for him to win this, he would kind of have to be in something substantial. Unless he continues on when they do some sort of like 6-man at SummerSlam, when it's like him and Roman and so whoever, Punk. I don't think it's going to be Punk, because I think Punk's going to have Gunther. That's the only way that I could see him possibly beating Rollins here, and I don't feel like that's going to happen. I don't think Reigns is going to come back to do a 6-man. I could see him and Braun being kind of the focus. While Rollins, I don't know, Rollins Punk. I don't know what Rollins end up doing either.
Penta maybe again. Who knows? He should be doing something. Because if Seth is off SummerSlam, it's just such a what's coming, right?
Right.
On SummerSlam.
That's when he should lose if he's going to cash in. Like he should lose to somebody on that show. I think it holds more effect, especially with the 2-night effect, because he could lose a match on Saturday, come back and cash in Sunday.
Yeah, like think about when he cashed in at 31. He lost to Randy Orton at the second match of the night, right? And you were totally forgotten about at the end of the night when he came out and cashed in. So, yeah, interesting. What do you think of Knight? I'm probably historically way more higher on him than you. This has been a year to kind of test him. And I don't know if it's stretch out whatever baby face he has in him. And where are you on Knight? Do you think he's still worth the squeeze?
I think he's had a good year. I mean, he got through that Rumble shit that happened with Drew pretty well, I think. And I think he's a big match performer.
He does.
He's always good in the PLE matches when he's given the opportunity. He's never going to be a match of the night, but he's going to be a highlight of the night, right? He's going to get a good reaction. He's going to pop a crowd. He's like a perfect person to like put in like a show opener spot, which I actually think this match will be on Saturday.
That makes sense.
So at the end of the day, I think they can do whatever they want with him. I don't think that he'd ever be, his world title run would probably be similar to like Jey Uso's, where you'd celebrate the win, but then, there really isn't a lot of meat on the bone from there. But, he's somebody that
he's a little bit more capable of carrying.
He is. I just feel like Jay's still a tad smidge more.
He's over. He's more over.
So it kind of makes it pretty similar. I think that you're right with that. I think that the Knight in ring and, the way
it's
that
more
he
main
builds
event
matches is better.
Yeah, it's more main event style, right?
He doesn't. He's not out of place though when he closes a Raw. He's not out of place
Not
when he has an interaction with the top guys. I just feel like there's too many cooks in the kitchen for him to really be at that main event level because, where you've got Gunther and you've got Cody on top now, or Cena on top now with Cody coming for him. Then it's like, all right, SmackDown's going to be held down for a while, and Drew's probably in the offing there. And then on Raw, you've got the Rollins and Breaker of it all probably the next year or so. I feel like they're kind of already starting to tease the Braun Rollins stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could be your Mania match next year if Braun wins a Rumble or something like that. So, I just don't know. I don't know where it would fit for Knight short of like a transitional thing. Like if he beat a Gunther or something. But I don't think that really makes a lot of sense either. So,
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he could go either way. I wonder how he would be as a heel. I don't know if post draft. I don't know how the heels rosters look, but I don't think I'd really want him as a heel. Honestly, he's so over as a face. Even though his character doesn't really have to change much, right? But I think he'd be just kind of pissing in the wind there. People would want to kind of react to him strongly in a way. So really,
like him and Dom's a fun ass feud. I'd like to see that go down.
Yeah, I see 1 second one. I assume he's going to Raw because he's kind of done everything on SmackDown, right?
He's been more of a Raw guy since this feud started too. I feel like.
Yeah, it's like a soft transition over to it, but
he's somebody that I think benefited from being 3 hours on SmackDown too, because he got more time to do his promos. He got more time maybe in ring than he would otherwise. I think in a 2-hour format, he's somebody that they need to have like that powerful, because like him and Truth are kind of similar in that way that like
he's more capable though.
He is, but like right now I'd say they're pretty much on that same like obviously the Truth stuff's going to be minor and it probably won't last for long, but I think they're kind of weird to have both on a 2-hour formatted show right now, So I think Knight being on Raw, he should probably stay there.
Yep. All right. So are you for Saturday Night Main Event with Seth and his Seth Riders, which is a phenomenal nickname, by the way, that Twitter has christened it, the Seth Riders, because it's kind of similar to the Death Riders, where they don't really kind of do much. But anyways, this was a great night for him on Raw. I don't want to go too deep into him, but this is a good individual characterization of the Seth Riders tonight on Raw. And they were all kind of getting over individually, too, with the crowd. Identification and separation within the group is pivotal. By saying all that, are you surprised this is all they have going on after Monday Night Raw? Who knows if they announce anything Tuesday, Wednesday? I'm sure by Friday they'll have to announce at least another match, which kind of kills me on my previews, but that's for another fucking thing. But anyways, do you feel that this is enough for Seth and his group at Saturday Night's Main Event, or do you think we'll get more, or there should be more, like including Bronson in Breaker?
It's tough because they were such a dominant piece of Raw that I think you can have them do a little bit less on Saturday Night's Main Event, and it's okay. I also feel like, we're talking about SummerSlam with the cash in. I think at the very least we're going to get a cash in tease with the Gunther match, right?
At Goldberg?
Yeah, because they teased it with Cena in his title. So you probably need to tease it with Gunther now, especially then. That kind of throws you into thinking if there's a SummerSlam coming, he could theoretically cash in on either guy. So I would expect there to be a tease of something. Gunther and Goldberg do this like 6-minute train wreck, and Goldberg spears him through the barricade, and then Gunther ends up quickly stealing the win because he hits a power bomb or something, and Goldberg dies. Then there's the cash in, and the ring gets surrounded by the 6 guys or by the 3 guys. And who's going to save Gunther at that point, right? Maybe Punk, because
there was a little interaction last week. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's the only thing that would make sense. And then, they can turn that into the Punk Gunther match if that's what they end up doing. So
honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to go full circle in your conversation if we get like a Seth Gunther Punk match, and that's post like cash in, right?
Right. And that's the thing, is you can make that a 6-man, a 3-way, mid-match, kind of like what Rollins did with Mania 31.
Yeah. Or even going in. I'm saying Seth wins that Money in the
Like he
Bank.
cashes in, yeah.
Yeah, I could see something like that going down too.
Because it's a 3-way, and Punk and Gunther don't really have friends, and there's no rules. So yeah, I can see that.
We'll say though, Goldberg's over, bro.
It would be fun if like I don't want Goldberg to beat Gunther, but it would be fun if
it wouldn't be fun. It would be a bad decision, but
if he instantly lost it to Rollins,
I guess right. It's a cute consolation thing, right?
yeah,
It would be cool if like Breaker came in and like broke Goldberg, right? And that's like a passing of the torch type of thing too. I'd just rather do that in match.
Yeah, and then like the only thing I'm thinking is like, yeah, what if Goldberg wins the title and then he loses it on Raw on Monday? You know?
Yeah,
I don't foresee it. Right? Like they're building up as the
That,
farewell.
yeah, I'd rather do that in match. I don't want the lineage to say Goldberg 56.
I feel like Triple H though is like, I don't give a shit what the pop is. He's getting his farewell, and we're gonna move on to what's important for Gunther next. You know?
Yeah, it's like he's paying Vince's old taxes still.
Like, yeah, I mean, I guess you could. He is. It going back to the cash in thing. It could be that Punk stops a cash in here, and then Rollins then somehow he gets pissed off that Punk gets a title match. So then he just is a dummy and is like, yeah, I'm going to do this in a 3-way because I need to cost Punk again. So yeah, that is actually a lane I could see coming, and that feels like a proper night one main event.
All right. See, as we're at the end here, I'm going night. I think it's Seth can afford a loss. Just beating Penta tonight in a fantastic match, by the way. If you haven't seen it, go check that out. But beating Penta, I think Knight just needs it more, and it can go a long way to kind of set him to where he's going to go. Seth Rollins is a massive name to beat in this company. He's actually kind of protected. Vince booking kind of bastardizes losses and wins with Seth. Triple H extremely protects him in a way. So I think a win over Seth, slipper banana peel, whatever, right, would go a long way for Knight. I'm still going to stay strong to my guns there and say I predict Knight to win this.
Yeah, and I'll go Rollins just because I feel like he's not imminently cashing it. So
yeah,
I think he should stay strong.
We do like the betting odds, and I feel like betting odds wise, I would probably say plus 230 LA, minus 200 Seth. Probably that's my gut, right? That's where we would probably lay heading into Saturday night's main event. So
no, I mean you could get Reigns here too.
Yeah, true. Set up. You gotta set up the Rumble. Or you gotta set up SummerSlam.
You're only 3 weeks out, so
no. All right, Mike. See you on the next one, buddy.
Later, man.